Hello and good evening. You are back with the crew on our favorite night of the week, not day of the week. We are here for our Tuesday night classes. Don't make it sound like it's work. Fun night with our brother Simon. Simon, what do you know about what's
Right.
going on in your life and how you doing tonight?
Second question first. I am doing very well. I'm very excited for the end of this weekend that's coming up and the beginning of next week. So I'm doing a lot of studying on the IBC because I have some questions that are pretty deep. And we're going to be around those people next week that can we're going to really be able to get good answers, and I feel like I'm going to at least be able to ask questions from Main Street and have these individuals explain it in the Main Street language. And that way, hopefully, some of y'all out there will be able to go, oh, yes, I get it. So that part I'm excited about. Um, I might be a little hot mess with my organization as far as production stuff goes, but that's okay. I do that every every time I have a big event that I'm
Yeah.
participating in. How about you?
I'm doing great. Yeah, good, good. I had a productive day, as most of my days are. And then I was just sort of crashing, right? I was like, oh, yeah, we have a show tonight. So, splashed a little water on my face, got out of the sun, tried to relax. And man, I'm pumped about tonight's show. We have some really cool topics on the board. I wrote a few down and you hit me with one earlier. But let's go ahead and go over what you mentioned there, Simon. What is it we're doing this weekend? What are we up to? Do you remember?
Yeah, we're up to a lot.
We are.
I
We
think
are.
almost every minute is filled. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get sleep on the agenda. Eating's there though.
Yeah.
I made sure eating was there. So you and I are flying into Birmingham, Alabama. We're both coming from the West Coast. We're on different flights and all that, but as Universe provided, we should be arriving to the same airport within about 5 minutes of each other, give or take. And then we are being chauffeured by Mr. Jarrett, who's been kind enough to not only pick us up, but he's driving us all the way down to Panama City all through the night. We'll probably get about 4 hours of sleep and then wake up and then we will work out meeting up with individuals that will be able to meet with us Saturday all day and night. And at least it looks like at least half of Sunday, because people are going to have to go home. We're going to have to tuck tail and drive all the way back up north to Birmingham so we can get ready for the meeting that we have with Mr. Scott Champman, Nallen and Associates, as well as potentially Mr. David Stern, his wife Kim, who is, by the way, the daughter of Nelson Nash, and their daughter Lee, who is going to be the next generation of running the Nelson Nash Institute or a part of that. We don't know the dynamics, but I know we're going to be able to bring that information to everybody here. So uh, basically, from Thursday night on, I'm talking crypto and IBC and IBC and crypto and IBC. Friday, same thing. Saturday, same thing. Sunday, same thing. And we're going to be talking about life, but I think Alan, I know us. We've been in this situation before. We're
Yes.
talking about
Oh,
strategies. We're going to be we're going to be thinking, long range. We're going to be thinking about the short range, how to get to that long range, and conversing with, with anybody that can meet up with us down there in Florida. I know that I will be tweeting our location as far as like where we're going to be at. I know I've worked out with Joanna. Love you, Joanna. I'm going to be sending her that same information as well. She said she would be able to update as well via Twitter and I believe website. So those are all solid, good to goes. In regards to like other personal communication, I do have the business phone number that I will be putting out there, but I'm not doing that today. I will be doing that in a tweet because I don't want to get blown up between now and then, as I, got a lot of stuff to do before I get down to the Birmingham, Alabama and Florida, and then back to Birmingham, Alabama, and then back home, and then go back to life as it is. And yeah, what's sleep? Sleep when you're dead.
No, we don't need that.
Yeah, I don't. I got tea.
That's right. And by the way, Simon brews a mean tea. Love it.
Oh yeah, dude. This
figured it all
man,
out. He makes a delicious tea.
I'm bringing it. Oh, I'm bringing it.
Yeah. We have to really talk about what we're gonna go over Saturday and Sunday. It's wide open. If you want to talk about how tall you are, or how rich you are, or how old you are, or how much fun you're having in life, or you want to talk about crypto, do you want to talk about any of it, all of it, your future finances,
whatever you want,
all of it, all of that. Now we're not going to try and get too conspiratorial, but
I know I've
got some pretty good stories that I like to tell in person.
Perfect. I'll build a fire on the beach.
That's right. We will have a lot of fun. And I plan to answer every single question everybody has as honestly as I can for 2 straight days. And that's the beauty of Simon and I. He and I appreciate people like my son and I do. And it's a pleasure to meet with people, to be with people, and to share what we all have in common. But as you can imagine, and you don't even have to imagine it, Simon and I have the gift of teaching, helping, coercing people, if you will, into things that help them get off the ball and start moving forward. And it's really about getting motivated about doing these things that really is the key to making it happen in your lifetime. And you need people like energetic people like Simon, my son and myself, who help you say, oh, they did it. I can do it. Let's do it.
Right.
And now we have a group and we have a family and we all do it together. Yep. So it's too much fun.
I've learned from a plethora of people before me that have got me motivated on a number of different topics. I've needed them and I've learned from them, and it's just passing the torch simplistically, but I like it very much. I would say it's a passion. We all love, at some point, we all love to help people with a thing or a few things or a lot of things. We all love that because it's very rewarding. It feels real good. We've been on the other side of that when someone was helping us and we were learning something, and then now the shoe's on the other foot. Now you get to do it. And that's kind of that's the circle of life. That's awesome. Yeah,
we get to spread what we've learned. And it's really neat. And I was telling Simon earlier today, I love teaching. I've taught my whole life long, but I learn when I teach. I think we all do. And I think it solidifies the knowledge in you, and it makes you go, well, I don't know that answer. I better look that one up. You better figure out, that was a good question. I better know more about that before I answer it the way, which is, as everyone knows, that's exactly how we got into crypto. I got into crypto because my brother wanted financial advice. And I told him, don't ever buy Bitcoin. Are you out of your mind? That's just only stupid people do that. And then I got off the phone with him and I went, well, you just lied right through your teeth, Alan. You're just a liar. What are you doing? What are you lying to your homie? What you don't know anything about Bitcoin. Why did you tell him that? Like, you're just a parrot now. You're not being honest with the world. Why don't you research it and figure it out? And then, we went down that rabbit hole. That I got a question. Is that the Farmer John?
Yeah, that is the Farmer John.
Brothers in the house.
Yeah. 2 weeks in a row. Yo. Yeah.
Nice.
That is yeah.
Very cool.
That is the man, the myth, the legend.
That's right. Yeah, very much so. And I met him, gosh, 4 or 5 years ago now.
Yeah.
When was that? June
21. 21.
July 21. 3
Yep.
years ago. Yeah. Okay. Just over 3 years ago.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. We had a
That's
great
when we
discussion. One farmer to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was cool. His
It was.
talk about a wealth of information, that gentleman right there.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Texas. Yep. Yeah. We didn't get a long chat, but we did get to talk. And then I was in wasn't a Zoom group?
Yeah, you
guys
stopped by a
did?
couple of Zoom. Yeah, you guys,
Yeah.
you and a B-man stopped by Zoom. It was a small little group called the Weekly Zoomers, and it was just a group of us that met in Texas, and we just kind of wanted to keep that conversation going, and support each other in our new crypto endeavors, and see how we can support each other and talk shop, all that good kind of stuff. So, kind of like what I know this will more than likely evolve into.
That's right.
Big picture. Yeah. So it's good stuff.
Okay.
Man.
The first question on the board, which is going to be the question of the night. Well, you asked me earlier today, actually, Simon. So I'm going to ask you now.
Okay.
People struggle when we're talking about IBC now, infinite banking. Like a lot of people struggle with the fact that, okay, well, there was 10 grand in my policy and I got to borrow it. What's going on? You okay?
Sorry. So I'm good. I hit a wrong button on my stuff. I almost turned everything off just now. So I'm okay. Sorry.
Gotta love live media, right? So you got 10 grand in there and you need to spend 9 of it. And you spent the 9 grand. Well, okay, I spent it on whatever it was, car. Okay, collectible car. I want to fix it up. It's something I've been wanting to do forever. I don't understand what it means to just pay the 9 grand back. Isn't it just a savings account that I've created here? What's the advantage to me to pay my own self back? In particular, why would I pay myself interest back on the money that I borrowed? That just seems weird to me, but can you explain that to me at all? Does that make sense?
It does. It does make sense. I would like to also add that, and I hit this wall. Man, I hit this wall hard. I mean, I went through a lot of cocktail napkins to iron this out, and that is this. You feel like you're paying for something twice. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're 9 grand or you're 10 grand in the policy, right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you took 10 grand and you got it over there onto the cash value side. Now you're going to do a policy loan, borrow against. Okay. Mm-hmm. So the insurance company is going to give you money that's not out of your policy. And you're going to go buy your awesome new sweet ride, your collectible car, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's address first why the insurance company would want to give you a loan in the first place. Because you have given them the rights to claim that $9,000 plus interest from your policy upon your graduation day up into the beyond of awesomeness, heaven, or whatever you want to call it. Okay. So they're willing to go, oh yeah, no problem. Okay. Because they know that money's over there. It's not coming out of there. It's not really coming out of there. It stays there. It's locked in, lock, stock, and barrel. We're good to go. And it's gonna keep on growing and etc. So they know that if it took 5 years, let's say you were 5 years into your loan, you kicked the bucket, you haven't made a payment yet. They know that asset was growing and growing, and it could still cover loan plus interest, the total balance, and then still family gets a check. So that's why they're willing to give you the money in the first place. Okay. So you got the thing, you got your car, and now it's like, well, why do I want to pay it back? It's like, well, nobody, I think, really wants to pay it back. It's not a desire. We come from Main Street. Okay.
Yeah.
We come from the world that we live in. We go to a
Right.
bank, we borrow money, we have to pay it back because that's the terms. So the question really is, why don't you pay this back? It's like, well, I don't have to. I'll just wait till I die, and then it's taken care of. It's like, okay, you could do that. I'm not going to, because here's the difference. I'm going to pay it back. One, so that asset, that thing I collateralized, is available to me again to recollateralize on a future endeavor. That's number one. Number two, I'm going to pay not only the interest to the insurance company, I'm going to pay extra interest, just like I would at a bank where I got the loan. Why would I do that? Well, those banks make money off of you paying that high interest. So why not you make money off yourself for once in your life and future endeavors, and keep that same money in your policy, and it makes your asset grow. You just increase your liquidity for the next time you want to borrow. You could do the 401k example, but it's kind of not really a great example. So that's one thing, or that's two things. Now I'd like to let's step back just a little bit more. I want to address the I feel like I'm paying for the same thing twice. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. You have $10,000. You already have a policy in play. Okay. Let's say you just started. Okay. You got a policy. Right. Okay. You have $10,000 cash on the sidelines waiting to go. You have a $9,000 credit card debt over here.
Yes.
Or you could take that same $9,000 that you owe there and stick it in your policy first. But you're making a choice. Do I spend my $9,000 and it's gone forever, never to grow again? Or do I take that amount, throw it in my policy? Now I've locked in the compounding if I throw it in my policy. Now I borrow the $9,000. I borrow against my policy. I'm not taking money out of my policy. I'm borrowing against. I'm using somebody else's money. I'm going to get another. I'm getting another loan to pay off another loan. Okay, it's like debt transferring. That's literally what you're doing. The beautiful part here is that when that takes place, if you choose that route, the money that comes from the insurance company, because remember, you got a loan, you paid off your credit card. Well, you transferred that debt over to the insurance company. Thus, you're the one in control payments, how fast you want to pay it off, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Or if you want to do in my opinion, the most irresponsible thing and just wait till you kick the bucket and then your death benefit will pay it off. Okay, fine. Totally don't recommend that. That would be foolish.
No, that's not why we're doing
it. Yeah, not why you're doing this, right? But in reality, you did not spend the money twice. That same amount of money might have gone through your hands twice, right? The same amount, but not the same money, because when you make that decision, pay off a debt or do a policy, you're choosing there. Okay. You're choosing, no, I'm going to throw my money in the policy. And then you go, hey, insurance company, will you pay that debt off for me? No problem. The only difference is they have to send you the check and then you do it, as opposed to them just doing it for you and it's gone. So hopefully that clears that up just a little bit there.
It does. You did the one part you cleared all that up, but you didn't address the fact that why am I paying extra to myself, the interest?
Okay.
What's the advantage?
Let's address that now. Okay. So why would you do that? Because this is how you reclaim the volume of money that you've been spending on interest across the street. Okay. Any loan that any one of us have right now, we're paying interest on those loans, no matter what it is. It's going across the street. Okay. When you pay that same amount of interest, a portion of that interest is going to go to the insurance company. but the other portion gets locked away until you graduate. And when I mean locked away, I mean secure.
Yeah.
Accessible only by one individual, that be you.
That's right.
What I mean by accessible is you've now taken that interest that would have went to JP Morgan and Chase. You put it into the crew, their policy,
Yes.
right?
That's
And
right.
now their policy grew in cash value. So now there's
That's
more liquidity for you to borrow. And this is how your bank makes money.
Yes.
That's how your bank makes money. So
That's
it's
right.
very important to do that because, well, basically because this is how you make your bank grow, and this is how you ensure. This is how you ensure that you lock in that money that you would be saving, that you could save that money, as in you don't have to pay you don't have to choose to pay your bank back the extra interest. But the problem is we're human. We're going to take that little extra money. Oh, I saved this money. Let's go spend it. No, fail.
Right.
No. You live the same way you've been living. You're just locking in all the money over here over time in your banking system.
That's
as
right.
opposed to giving it back to the old banking system.
That's
as
right.
far as control and where it goes, how you can use it, et cetera, et cetera.
And exactly. And so the one part that you touched on right there is so important. By paying in higher than what you have to pay back, you're building your own nest egg, if you will. Or you're building the account to a higher level that you're going to be able to use later for the next project. Maybe the next project isn't a car that you're going to fix up for $9,000. Maybe the next project is you're going to buy a fourplex down the street and it's going to bring you a monthly income. So you're going to create more principal in there. You're also going to be able to you're building more principal by paying more interest.
Yeah, you're growing.
Yeah, that's right. You're growing your nest egg, if you will. But Farmer John just brought up a great point. It's also deductible to yourself. So the more numbers that you can put into this policy account, your own private bank, the less you're being taxed. And the easier, I shouldn't say definitely less that you're being taxed, but the easier it is for you to hide income, not hide income, but
secure it.
Keep it in your own private bank to where it's non-taxable. That's the best way.
In your control. Yep.
In your control. Your own
in your control. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep. Love it. Okay.
Thank you, Farmer John.
Yeah. Okay. So what would be the biggest advantage? So let's clear that up real quick. So I was about to go down into somewhere else and we don't want to go there yet.
Not yet.
So the biggest thing in plain English for everybody has to understand is you've borrowed the money from yourself. Essentially, it's not technically, but essentially you borrowed your own money. You want to pay your own money back because it's your money, right? Or you can use it again in the future. You want to keep that account stocked because you never know when the opportunity, or let's say crypto had a 60% correction and you were able to buy, I don't know, the XRP at 20 cents again. You would want that capital in there for that dry powder, if you will, for your next opportunity in life. What's going to happen is you're going to end up paying all of these off and you're going to be debt free. And then you're going to have this capital over here for those massive opportunities in your life, to where I tell the stories all the time that the biggest difference between wealthy people and non-wealthy people is they don't have a dry stack of powder in which to really take advantage of. That's why you pay it back. You have to pay it back because you don't know what your next opportunity is and when it's going to occur. Yeah.
Well said.
Love it.
Said. I mean, It's for all you savers out there, savers will get this. Okay,
Savers get it.
you save your money, you put it aside. Okay, just the action of nope, I allocate this funds to savings for whatever I deem necessary for me to pull out of savings. Okay, when savers spend their savings, not all of it, but they're spending some. What do? They replenish the savings. Okay,
That's right.
when we're only talking about the action here. Okay, but what savers don't do, because we really didn't think about it, is we don't charge ourselves interest.
No.
We don't. If we did, our pile would increase faster, and we would have more in there to go and spend. But where the saver loses is versus the infinite banking concept and the instruments we're using within that process is the dividend paying and compounding interest within that contract. Two things, two vehicles in the same instrument that put more fuel in the tank, that put more money in that pile over time.
Right.
Versus just savings. Versus just I'm at a solid balance. I put $100 in, it stays $100 till I add more to it.
Yeah.
Over here, we're compounding and we get dividends.
That's right. And that's a beautiful thing about this whole thing. That's one of my favorite parts. Let's also remember, guys, that once you get good at this sort of skill, this is teaching you life experience. This is teaching you a skill to where you're actually becoming a bank. You start to think the way bankers think. And the way most bankers think is money makes money. You don't think that way right now. You think my back makes money. My knowledge makes money. My abilities make money. You need to start thinking like a banker, because opportunity is going to come, like I say, and you're going to have to think on your feet about being a banker. Let's also ask the question here, Simon, what's going to happen to that account, say 10 years down the road, after you've paid that much more in interest on every single payment that you've made? Not only that, you're compounding over here on your stack, and it's never been touched. So as we all know, if you never touch your compounding, it grows at exponential rate. Exponential rate, guys, is something that most human beings cannot wrap their minds around. The next thing you know, your little minuscule policy that you started 10 years ago is now you are buying condos, you are buying opportunities, you are buying hundreds of thousands of dollars of opportunity, and you have the liquidity to do that. Also, you're going to have a place in which you can funnel in your windfalls, such as crypto, such as whatever investment opportunity that you come up with. Yes.
Sorry, I was going to pull out my calculator. Because there's a
Teresa. Yeah, if you listen to the answers of Farmer John, you'll be doing good. Or maybe even Scott Champman in here. Is that the Scott Champman in the?
Where?
Says Scott. Yeah,
it's probably him. EVA. Yeah.
All right, there we go. Scott's in the house. Oak has an interesting question. We'll get to that. Hey, OG, good to see you tonight.
Something that I've heard through a few different IBC practitioners' videos, and I know Scott mentioned it when he was on this channel here. It's a penny over 30 days. If you work out, you start out with 1 penny, or maybe it's 1 penny. If you start out with 1 penny on day one and it doubles every day for the next 30 days, you will be above $1 million. Don't believe me? Go do it.
Right.
Go do it. And
That's
it's literally in the last, I
con-
think, 5, 4, 3 days that it just goes pop, pop, pop. And
yeah.
that's what Alan's talking about when, hey, what's your policy going to be? Or what's the funds in that contract? What are they going to be? What are they going to look like? Because one, it was already doing the compounding, which is the whole point of the penny, doubling up compounding penny homework if you want to do it at home scenario. Okay, that's just to illustrate how compounding works and how all of a sudden it gets exponential. Okay,
Yes.
so there's that. It's uninterrupted, because if you interrupt it, then you
Yeah.
lose that compounding. But now we're adding more onto it than we originally started with over that same period too. It'd be like, okay, you do the penny method, right, for 30 days. Well, let's just throw a nickel in there on one of the days just to see what happens. It's going to grow even more.
Yeah.
It's going to grow even more. And it's
thing.
really, really cool stuff. Everybody should love compounding interest.
I'm going to answer this one. This is kind of an out of the way question, but Teresa, when we were talking about trusts last week, you really want to open up your IBC first. You really want to get good at the IBC, in my opinion, and you want to get skilled at what you're doing with it. And then what you would do is put your IBC in a trust. That's really my game plan. That's really where we're at. That's what I plan on doing. am not quite to that level because we had different opportunities and we took them. So we're still in the middle of the IBC stuff. We will be talking more on these Tuesday nights and other nights about trust in the future, but we're still vetting out the people that we're hoping to use for trust. So tonight's not going to be a show necessarily about trust, but it's a really good question. I'm glad you asked it. So no, I'd be proficient at IBC first. I'd understand where your money's going. Why is it leaving my wallet? Where is it going when it leaves? Does it ever come back to my wallet? That's once you get that, then you'll understand the first question of the night, which is, well, I'm just paying myself back. It seems like I'm paying double. I'm like, what's the deal here? Once you understand it and the money starts coming back into your wallet after you have the car, and now the money's back in your wallet and you only paid for it once, you didn't pay for it twice, pay for it once, right? You just paid back what you borrowed, which is the same thing that you would do with the bank. If you went to the bank, they're going to do what? Give you the money, then you owe them and you have to pay them back. It's the same thing. The only thing is you've eliminated the bank. You took the money, bought the car, and paid it back to yourself. That's the only difference. Hope everyone's clear on that.
Well, I know it's something we'll revisit time and time again. It's something that it does have to be drilled down into your heads. Because I had to drill into mine. Like I said, I went through a lot of cocktail napkins to really play it out, to really get my mind to separate from my money's technically still over here in this policy, earning compounding interest uninterrupted. I'm giving insurance company temporarily rights to claim the outstanding balance if I graduate. That's the security in the loan agreement the insurance company and I have. And so I'm paying back the insurance company plus extra interest. That extra interest goes back over into my policy as well. And that's
right.
How, it's just something. Drive it home. Ask every week. We'll draw pictures. Go ahead.
This is a good question right here.
Okay. So I want now, Scott Champman, please jump in on this in just a moment. Let's see if the pupil knows most of his stuff in general terms. So, great question. I'm torn right now between starting a policy in my personal name and my LLC. I don't think I have enough income right now for both. First off, let me commend you, Luke, on that last part. assessing if you can do this policy, or if a policy that you would like to do, if you can sustain it on your worst day. I love that. Well done. Now, in my opinion on the matter, the LLC can own it, but depending on the laws in your jurisdiction, okay, because each state is different. I know that some states totally honor the fact that you could get sued, but if it's in a whole life insurance policy, it can't be touched. Okay. I don't know what states those are. Okay. But I know other states, they didn't do that entirely. Okay. So something to look into, just on that preface alone. Because if you, the natural man or woman, have protections in the state, I would say go that route, because if something happens to your LLC and gets sued, there could be some chink in the armor that we're all not aware of. Okay, big homework thing to do. The easiest path, in my opinion, would be the personal. You can always, I shouldn't say always. I know that you can still transfer ownership of the policy to another entity. Scott can back me up or tell me that I am stupid.
Yeah.
If he's out there.
If he's out there.
He is. Correct. Correct.
Well, because we actually put an LLC into our second policy. So
perfect.
We've actually done it, and it's legal in this state. But like you said, great advice. You need to find out in your state.
You got to find out, man. I mean, we have to know. We have to know.
Yeah.
Good question, though, Luke. Thank you for
that.
Really
good question.
And I love that last part there, man. I don't know if I have enough income right now for both. Like that's great. You're thinking, can I sustain this? Because this is for life. Can you sustain this? Be real with yourself. The first policy might not be your biggest policy. It's not about size. It's about you doing it. Go ahead.
Yeah.
There, Alan.
I'm just reading other questions, but
okay,
Teresa has got so many great questions, but she's asking basically, well, shouldn't I set up a trust before I cash out of my crypto? Yeah, you probably should do that. In fact, what I would recommend, and what I recommended on the last show, was if your trust costs you, say, $10,000 to create, the first $10,000 of your crypto you sell should go directly to that if you're buying the proper trusts. And that's where I was at. I haven't vetted the exact person that we're going to use with that, but I'm 95% sure that I have somebody that's really going to help you. How do I put this? Shelter 95% of the tax burden that you would take on a capital gains for your crypto trade. So we're there. We're real close. So that's why I'm recommending that because we're not in a bull market necessarily at this point, unless you're way ahead and you bought it 8 years ago, you might want to cash out now. But Teresa, I would suggest you getting started with IBC. And I'm sorry that you emailed me. I thought I emailed you my phone number, and I was surprised that you didn't call me back. So I will try and get back a hold of you tonight. Maybe it's in your spam. You might want to check that out. And Outdoor Boys, I emailed you back too, and you didn't call me this week, which is interesting. So maybe I screwed something up. Good. Anyway, let's keep going here. What else did you see in there? Do you like?
I saw Scott Champman said that 100% correct, but he also said that Nelson always said best to own personally. So that's coming from Scott Champman, an IBC practitioner, sharing his truth, his knowledge there, his experience with y'all right there. So, Nelson said, own it personally. It's not a bad play.
Yeah.
While you're exploring the rest, there was GA was doing some great helping out, as well as Oak, or yeah, GA was, as well as Oak and another individual. I forgot where they went, but that's all right. Great assistance on the comments, loving it.
Luke, I would suggest you just hang on or try and get a hold of me over the next couple of weeks. I have some pretty good material on a trust that I think is going to work for you. I wouldn't spend a whole lot of time researching on it because I have, and it's a long rabbit hole, and everybody will sell you anything, and that's not what we're all about. We want to make sure that we have the right people. So I will send you somebody that you can research. How about that? I'll send you a short list of people. And again, I am alstaple@gmail.com. Pretty simple.
Ta-da.
Yeah, if you don't sell your crypto, it's not taxable. That is true. Yes, that is true. And I don't suggest selling any crypto unless you've owned it over a year, but that's a whole nother ball of wax. If you're a trader, you're a trader and you're making money and you're going to pay tax on it no matter what you do. Yeah.
Got to cover all the variables, man.
However, if you're a trader, you probably have a bunch of losses to write off. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Buy more. Yeah. Please don't sell. Don't sell right now. If you can afford tomorrow, I got to say this, guys, tomorrow, I think you're going to see a massive jump in the crypto market. I got an email from a guy today, who's one of my favorite banker guys. And he just said, wait till the report comes out tomorrow, Alan. I'm reading the names now. And essentially it was, okay, 45 days after the end of the quarter, you have to submit what your holdings are in your institutions. Okay. Do you remember the one that came out? I don't know, whatever it was, last quarter, obviously. There were so many trust funds, colleges, the state of Wisconsin, all had bought Bitcoin, all had bought cryptocurrency, and they all had to disclose it. Well, that has to be disclosed tomorrow. If you remember last year or last quarter, that market that day jumped 4.5% because of the disclosures of all the companies and corporations, nation states, and all the rest of them. I don't know how that flew under the radar with a bunch of people. It flew under the radar on me, and he was like, hey, tomorrow's the big day. And I was like, oh yeah, what? And that was the email. So interesting. Could be a big bump tomorrow, but don't sell it, even if there's a big bump.
No, yes. Man.
Oh, Michigan too. Yeah, as well.
We got. No, I'm not talking crypto. Nope.
No, we're not talking crypto.
I'm not going to do it because I'll be there all night.
Yeah.
Just hold on.
But we will talk crypto Saturday and Sunday coming up this weekend. It won't just be IBC, it'll be both. So if you guys can come hang out, please do.
Yeah, Scott, we'll teach you how to buy Bitcoin.
Right. Joanna, we had an address, didn't we, Simon, for the where we're going to meet up on Saturday?
We do. Would you like me to post it?
Please, or give it to Joanna so she can.
Okay. Actually, that would probably be more pertinent. Sorry, fam. I'll give it to you.
It's in our Twitter. Yeah, that's right. She posted it in our Twitter, I'm pretty sure.
Oh. Got your things.
Man, I'd love to see you there, Crawfish.
Yeah, Crawfish, that'd be great. Sorry. Really am. But Alan's got plans cooking for this next year. In that regards, as far as meetups. Alan, I got a question for you though on on the IBC. Have you set a time frame or any type of I guess a time frame for capitalization, and then saying, okay, I'm gonna fund, say X amount of years, and once I'm there, I will execute on an opportunity. Have you thought about anything like that at all? Any type of strategy?
I have, I have, because
I
I
know.
I keep
Layup,
myself
man.
awake at night doing such things. I'm not I'm not really excited about getting too deep into the woods on that right now, but
I was
because
just
we're
curious. I was
living,
just curious because it's fun to
yeah,
think about. I mean, when you
it
when you
is, yeah,
catch this, suddenly, planning your future or future endeavors, man, it's not as
yeah.
stressful. It's it's
No,
it's
no,
not as stressful. It's not as overwhelming. Um, it's such a it really truly is a a blessing, a peaceful blessing. Um, I
yeah,
remember in the book, Nelson talking, or maybe this was a video actually, that I was watching Nelson, and no, it's in the book. He mentions or talks about having the banks not in your life. How peaceful that is. How peaceful is it to not have banks in your life?
yeah.
Where you don't have that in the back of your mind, that stress that, oh, I got to make my mortgage payment. I know that's a big one, but oh, I got to make the car payment. Oh, I got to make this credit card payment. Man,
Yeah,
when those things are gone, and you're reclaiming reclaiming the banking functions into
yes,
your possession, man, it's so peaceful. And once you have that peace, and this is why I ask. That's why I asked you the simple question that I already pretty much knew the answer to. I know you're already thinking about multiple things to do. Um, it's fun.
I am. Yeah,
Planning my life all of a sudden became fun, and not so much a chore, or
right.
or the stress of a chore. It's an enjoyable chore. It's an enjoyable work. It's an
It is.
enjoyable delayed gratification, which, by the way, I am very much not a delayed gratification individual. In my
Yeah,
history, you can look back.
yeah.
Patience was not a vocabulary word that I knew.
That's right.
you know,
Any of
yeah,
us.
but now it's just like, yeah, this is great. What an easy ride.
This, this, what we're trying to teach, what we're trying to help people wrap their heads around is that you need to take responsibility for your finances. Um,
Absolutely.
the, the days of being your parents or your grandparents who just said, "Yeah, just put your money in a shoebox, put it on your bed, or just put all your money in the bank and trust the neighborhood bank." Those days are just ridiculously gone. They have printed way too many digits out there. It has collapsed the value of a US dollar, as we all know, any
Mm.
denomination for that matter. And you need to stay ahead of inflation. Well, what we're doing here is we're not teaching you how to get rich. We're teaching you how to be responsible with your money, and we're taking baby steps, if you will, to get us all to the same place. Because if you just jump to, oh, I'm just going to get a trust and kick back on my chair and just relax and just cash in my
No
crypto,
way.
that's not learning how money works. That's not learning or using money to the best advantage. That's why I recommend that you go first with an IBC. Now, let's look at this outdoor boys question. He asked some great questions. Uh, Brother, I don't know why you and I haven't met. He lives right down the street from me, and it's crazy. I trust capital. If you have an IRA or a Roth, I highly recommend that you put it with I Trust Capital. However, in my opinion, you're much better off using IBC with those same funds. Okay. You're going to generate more wealth and you're going to compound at a better rate than you will in your Roth IRA, depending on what your Roth IRA and iTrust Capital is purchased. As you know, you can use those funds and you get to determine what's purchased in those accounts with iTrust Capital. So if you happen to buy a coin and the coin goes crazy, obviously what I just said is not accurate. However, me personally, we have an iTrust Capital account, and we do have some things in there. But if you're looking to capitalize a bank account, that's one place that you could take it from. There are many people that would tell you that I wouldn't own an IRA once I understood IBC. They sell them all and they put them all in their IBC because it's proactive, it's more useful, and you get to use your money the way you deem it, and the way. And like Simon just asked me that question, it was a very loaded question and caught me a little bit off guard, which was, how are you going to make money with your money, Alan? And it's like, there are so many different ways that my head starts spinning, but there's going to be incredible opportunities going forward. Now, IBC and trust are two totally different things. The trust is more of, that's so you don't get sued, and that's pretty much keeping you tax exempt, and it enables you, after you become wealthy, to hide or harbor the funds in which you've hard earned and invested and created. And then that way it's not exposed to the public of the world, so that you're able to build generational wealth. There's many people that don't understand what generational wealth means. They think it means buy crypto, get stupid rich, and then I'm generationally wealthy. A lot of crypto channels tell you that. That's not accurate. That is not generational wealth. The people I work for are billionaires, and most of them have a last name that have been billionaires for generations, or hundreds of millionaires because the dollar's gotten inflated. You have to know how they got there. This is what tonight is about. We're teaching you how they use their money, how banks use their money, how all financial institutions use this process, which is IBC, to create wealth. Okay. And they all do it. They all do it. Right. And I've talked about it before. Yep. What do we talk about in the show all the time? Bully, right?
Mm-hmm.
What is a bully, Simon? Again, bully.
Dang it. Do it again. I don't have the direct answer. Go ahead.
Bank-owned life insurance.
Right.
Banks own life insurance.
Life insurance. Yes. Bank-owned life insurance.
Okay. They own it forever and ever and ever. Hundreds of years. Look it up. Look bully up. And when you look it up and you start figuring out, banks create anywhere between 200 to 1,000% on their money through life insurance policies. Corporations do it. Back in the 2005, there was all kinds of real estate corporations that were doing the same thing. So even banks use it. Banks don't just loan you money to buy a car. They make money with this IBC style of trading or life experience that we're helping you guys learn here. So all three of those are different things. I hope I explained that well. I don't know that I did, but yeah, that's right, GA. It's not what you make, it's what you keep. It's so true. It
is 100%. And can you bring that back? Would you mind popping that statement on you just read? Can you pop that on the screen? The one that you just read from GA. It's not what you make, it's what you get to keep. Okay, let's focus, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like you just to focus on the last half of that statement. It's what you get to keep. Keep. Think about keep. Keep does not mean leave. Keep is keep. Forever. It's what you keep. It's what you keep. not keep for a minute and let it leave. No, it's what you keep.
Yeah.
Thank you, GA.
And that goes back to the very first question of the night, which is why am I paying myself back? Because you get to keep it.
Keep it.
You get to keep that because you're paying yourself back.
Paying yourself back. For every dollar that you pay back to your principal, the loan that you have with the insurance company, that immediately, relatively immediately, available to be borrowed again. So if you did, like, say, 6 months of payments, again, you decide how much that's going to be, and it went to pay back your loan plus interest. That amount is available for you to borrow again if you see another opportunity,
and
right?
again,
And again, and again, and again. It's when you really see that, then the mind, you're in Alan's situation. You're like, there's so many options and opportunities. It's infinite.
Don't even start talking about options. That's my. Oh my God.
Alan's getting the itch. Watch out, everybody. Alan's getting the options itch.
I'm just telling you right now, a covered call option on a large, sizable amount of, say, Bitcoin, when we finally get an options market, is going to be printing money. That's going to be like having a money tree in your backyard. It's just going to be magical. Honestly, it's going to be anywhere between 20 and 25% annually for a covered call, which means basically you can't lose your crypto. Anyway, it's going to be awesome. Let's see. What else do we got? Keep wealth away from the lawyers, governments, bankers. That's it. That's exactly, in a nutshell, what this show on Tuesday nights is about. Okay. Unless the lawyers are on your side, we all know what we think about governments, but you're going to be the bank. So unless the lawyers are on your side and writing contracts that protect you from government, okay, you don't want those guys. So lawyers are good if they're writing the contracts that are keeping you away from government, and being the bank is going to be you. So you're going to have a bank. You're going to be the bank. You're going to have a trust. That's going to be you and a team of lawyers, which has got your best interest in mind, not the system, right? And that's going to protect your wealth for generations. And then the hard part, and here's the hardest part, and I'm teaching you people right now. This is one of the most important things that I see fail when you want to talk about generational wealth. Virtually every rich family, the next generation drops the ball on both big toes. They grew up easy. They had it easy. They just screwed off. They didn't learn the principles of becoming your own bank or thinking like a banker. And they didn't learn the principles of how to use and how to work the trust and how to work the system. They got really good at spending money and screwing off and being trust fund kids. They didn't know how to save it for their next generation. And that's what I see. Most new rich families really mess that up. And that's what keeps me awake at night, is thinking that all these people in our chat group and all our people that watch my great channel, all the great people of my channel, are going to be stinking rich one day, and they're going to be broke a year and a half later. And it keeps me awake at night because I see it family after family after family that I work with. And it's not acceptable. It's not difficult. What Simon and I understand and what we're teaching here for everybody is easy. It's if you can understand crypto, this is easier than crypto. It really is. Crypto is complicated, especially when you're first learning it. Anyway, I didn't mean to go on a rant there, but it's so true.
It's Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday and I'm ranting.
Sorry.
Dude, I got to tell you guys, because most of you will probably see it tomorrow. I shot a video today, and one of those videos that you're just like, oh, okay, cool. All right, I shot it. And that was good. I was glad it was a short one. It was 24 minutes long. Honestly, I thought it was like maybe 10 minutes max. It was 24 minutes long. And I was like, wow, I guess I had something to say.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Yeah. Some rants are okay. Thanks, Joseph. Yeah. I get wound up because I care about, that's another thing that I've learned from the wealthy. What happens to them is they become wealthy. And then they get to screw off all around the world. And they got nobody to do it with. Because all the people they grew up with are all broke and working. And I'm like, man, I want to get my friends here. And I got this yacht and I can take it anywhere in the world. And I can't even get my friends to show up here for a week. I mean, that's sad, right? So if we all do well together, we're going to have a community in which we can all screw off together. Hope that made sense. Yeah. No, you cannot get wealthy with a poor man's mentality. It's so true. That's a true statement. This is kind of what I like to talk about. If you're always thinking that the system beat me down, it's the judge's fault, it's the bankers, it's the elites, the global elite are ruining my life, you're not seeing the steps through the path out. You're seeing the mess and the muck and the crap that you're in. And it's really important to understand that. You have to see the path out. And that's what Simon and I present to you as best we can, every week. Is the video bad?
What?
Do you have bad video?
No, I don't. Let me go check somewhere else real quick. Stand by.
Yeah, let me check mine. No, mine should be good.
Just give me a moment.
Sorry, Jared.
No, yeah, you can see my comb over real good.
Yeah, it's good. Right? Yeah.
No, we're doing. I got good video quality on your channel and here as well. So I'm not.
Yeah, I'm getting 5x5 by people here.
Everybody appreciate that. Yeah, they're saying it in the comments. Northern Living says good. Mark says all good. Becky says all good. So. Yep. Road. Don't know what's going on.
By the way, do you want to talk about this gentleman real quick?
I was sworn to secrecy.
Oh, were you really?
No. I don't sign NDAs. I run. Northern Living, yeah, man. That's a gentleman that, quite honestly, I can't wait for. I can wait. I will wait patiently. For him to become very wealthy enough or resourceful enough, meaning he has enough resources to walk away from the day job that he currently has, because this man needs to have his own channel as well, and get out there and share the truth. But the school system ruined everyone's life taught to work only. Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm going to save that for Dipito. But last night, Melissa and I went live because there was Trump and Elon. We're doing the spaces, and I knew everybody was going to try to get in, so I tried to get in. I was like, cool, I'll just stream it to everybody that I can for those that maybe didn't get in. Technical issues. Turned out there was. I did get in, and we streamed it, but there was the topic of education that got brought up in that discussion. And as Trump and Elon are discussing, Board of Education and education, etc. I was like, if you just teach these next gens K through 12, about money, the flow of money, what money is, how these systems work, really in depth. Let me tell you something. You just built a generation of literally money making machines that can really bring this country up top if
Agreed.
they understood it, right? In any country that does that, I'll tell you. I know Eastern individuals from India talking
Yeah.
about money is a topic of discussion.
Yep.
Um, you know, and they talk about that's a common discussion amongst groups or at the dinner table or going out. It's the discussion of money. It's discussion of interest rates, how things are broken down. Like they go out, they get drinks, they're talking money.
Yep. Yeah.
It can kind of seem boring in like I don't know. I don't have any other good words there to describe it, but just like, gosh, you guys talk about money all day. It's like, yeah, you guys really should be talking about, much like your garden. If you have a garden and you got a green thumb, you need another green thumb. Really do. I went down the
Yeah.
rabbit hole. Homeschool. My daughter is 17 and she knows more than those graduating from public school. Absolutely. She's very dedicated, very educated on cryptocurrencies, blockchains. All right, time to graduate. Right
Yep.
here. Infinite banking
Yep.
concept laid down by the late, great R. Nelson Nash. Becoming your own banker. By the way, Joanna, you should get her this book.
Yeah.
Get her this book. That's something you guys can do for your next adventure. Phase 2 of the crypto journey, if you will. I think that'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah.
Northern Living, man, he's awesome. He's going to be on the show tomorrow.
That's what I was trying to set up.
I know.
Yeah. One of the big things for me lately has been there's people waking up, and over the last couple of 2-3 years, ever since pretty much the pandemic, we have more people that have more time to research and done a lot of homework, and they've started to realize what this whole inflation thing is all about. That's the second thing I would teach in school. Is how is inflation created and why does it exist? Because what would happen is you would end up with a generation of children that know that inflation is actually taxation. And actually the world, right, is a deflationary world. Everything should be getting cheaper in our lives. And the only reason I go on these rants a lot too. The only reason why our life is not getting cheaper is because the system prints money because they do nothing. They don't fulfill the needs of technology or more industry or improving like entrepreneurs do. Politicians in the system are not entrepreneurs. They're just not. They don't think like that. But our country could be run by those kind of people if they could think outside the box. So I know what you're wondering. Well, what would be the first thing you would teach in school, Alan? The first thing I would teach in school is, I don't know that I would call it necessarily the law of attraction, but I would call it, why not appreciate all things? Why not appreciate all people? Why don't we teach that everybody is the same? I appreciate everybody instead of categorizing people. Can you imagine if everybody in your class and every class that you ever grew up in had your back or wanted you to succeed? Instead of this competitive thing that everybody has, which is like, well, I got to get my share of the pie, because if I don't, it's that lack mentality that we teach. And if we could teach, do you know how many quadrillions of dollars there are in the face of this planet? And why isn't your basket full already? That we don't teach that mindset. We teach a scarcity mindset. And that's the first thing I would teach everybody, is those things. And the second thing would be about inflation, because it's not necessary in a capital. We don't have capitalism. But if we did have capitalism, entrepreneurs would rule the world in the sense that I get a perfect example. Okay. 50 years ago, you could buy lumber, a 2x4, for pennies.
Yeah.
Okay? Pennies.
Yeah. I
For
spent
the whole
12 bucks.
board.
I
Right.
spent 12 bucks for a 2x4, 10 foot long. Yes, 2 days ago.
Okay. So let's ask ourselves this. Why is a 2x4 $12 now, or whatever the number, when it used to just be a few pennies? Let's remember, 50 years ago, they had to strap on their boots. They had to hike out in the middle of nowhere. You needed lumberjacks. You needed people with a chainsaw in their hand. The physicality and the amount of labor and man hours that it took to create a 2x4 back then compared to today is minuscule. It's all automated. It's all machines. It's all grown forest. It's all completely tech driven. Stacking it, drying it, all of it, the whole thing is all machine. It should be cheaper today because there's less man hours in it. And what you're going to say is, oh, well, gas costs more and the diesel to move it out of there, Alan. You're going to say, why is all that stuff more expensive? See, what I'm saying is they robbed the technology from us. They robbed. And going forward, I don't believe that's going to happen any longer. I know we're getting off subject here, but going forward with AI and robotics, they're not going to be able to inflate or steal away the deflationary value that entrepreneurs and brilliant minds always seek a cheaper way to build something and make it and get it to public because they're in competition with the other lumber mill down the road. So everything should go to the price of zero in a true capital system, virtually zero. Sorry, one more rant.
No, it's all right.
I like it.
Ross has an interesting question there.
Who?
Ross. Yeah, there it is. So if I earn income from, let's say, AMM or staking using borrowed funds from the policy, I'm assuming, is that non-taxable? Okay. Borrowing funds is not taxable, but the income, if you earned income from AMM, then yes, as soon as you go into fiat. That's how it goes right now, as far as I know, and I'm not a tax professional.
I don't think that's 100% accurate, actually. I think
if you get a reward and you sell it, because I'm only going off of if I earned income, I'm going off that word.
Yes.
Income. Then income equals tax.
That's correct.
Why I'm saying it's tax.
So
because I'm assuming they're liquidating their AMM. Go ahead.
We do know that anytime somebody uses the word income, that means it's a taxable event. That's true. That's actually true. However, you can pay the funds back into your life insurance as a payback from the money that you borrowed from it to accumulate that $10,000 that you borrowed from for the AMM. That would not be taxable because you're paying it back to the policy. But you're not spending it as Mr. Ross. You're not spending it as income. You're paying your policy back.
Oh, well, yeah. Did you sell the thing?
That's a good point.
Question.
In this case,
if you sold the thing, yeah. If you sold the thing, yeah, it's right there. If you borrowed money, not tax. You bought crypto, still no tax. You AMM got rewards for the AMM. Okay.
It's earned income. Yeah.
Still undecided. I'm going to say undecided because it literally is undecided. But if you go into cash, if you take those rewards, go to cash for whatever reason why you're going into cash, tax right there. It's going to happen unless you have different structures, this, that, the other. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I'm just saying if you natural manner woman, Joe Schmo, Jane Schmo went out there and did that play right there. The man's going to try to nail you on you sold
That's
the
correct.
crypto.
So
right.
The way that I know that it's 100%, not 100%, about 95% tax exempt would be with a trust. If your IBC was in the name of the trust, it would be not all trusts, the trust that I'm talking about, it would be a non-taxable income because it would not be income to you, Ross. It would be income to the trust, which is not
right.
Ross.
Right.
That's
also,
yeah, but you can be paid from the trust. But that's not an income. That's
earnings.
No, it's not even earnings. It's an entitlement or that's what it is. Essentially, it's you're not an employee of the trust. You are
the executor.
You are the executor, but you are also trying to remember the legal term for it, but I've forgotten it right now. But anyway, that's how I would do that. So yeah, you need one more step. I put the IBC in a trust eventually, and then basically you're not going to pay much tax. The only tax you're going to pay once you're in a trust is any income that comes to, in capital letters, Ross, Mr. Ross, that is paid, that has a W-2 to it.
Yep. Or 1099.
No. If you have a 1099 income, that can go directly into your trust.
No, from the trust.
Sure about that. What's that?
If the trust does that.
Yes.
Trust, money trust, 1099s you, that would be so whatever.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good questions. Good questions. Yeah, I know Alan will have a trust night. There's you got irrevocable, spendthrift. Yeah, you guys are poking around the right bear. But not all are created equal. Just like the instruments we're talking about tonight, whole life insurance policies, whole life insurance companies, they're not all created equal. No, definitely not. You need specific ones, specific companies, and that's why you would go see an IBC practitioner. And we've talked about that. We'll continue to talk about that. And that's why you would, if Alan feels good about introducing this team or individual, second team to you all, it's because Alan feels like that they will meet those ends in which he would like to see all of us achieve if we so choose. Same thing with IBC, the infinite banking concept. It's hey, look, there's infinite banking, IBC authorized practitioners out there. They're people. Some are better than others. Some respond faster than others. Some are brand new. Some have been in the game. Different qualities and different drawbacks. They're all people. So hence the vetting part that Alan keeps bringing up. It's like, well, don't know if you're the right don't know if you're the right person for the crew, or maybe you are. It's all that.
Look, there's some brilliant people out there, and I've listened to people for most of my life talk about trust. Almost all of them talk right out the backside. They really don't know what they are. They don't know what they mean. They don't understand what they are. And I've been digging around for years trying to find somebody who actually knew what I knew about him. Because every time I talk to somebody, oh, I got a great guy. He does trust all the time. And I'd look into him and be like, it's just one more Mickey Mouse, the character that's just trying to sell you a tool, a product. And then he forgets who you are. You don't have any backup. You don't have anybody to go to. So for me, it's been a very frustrating journey. And to finally find somebody that I think I trust, not a pun, that can work with us all, then I can just set you to him and just you can go on with those people because I have a life experience with that person. I know who he is. I know what he does. I know what he sells. I know what his company sells. And I've had the experience with it. Then I'll put my name on it and tell you to go there. If I don't put my name on it, well, then you're on your own, because then you can't come back to me and go, well, you know what? That guy was a ripoff artist. Trust me, if I send you to somebody and he turns out to be a ripoff artist, we got a group here that are going to come after him, including the fact that, we may or may not know an attorney pretty well. So
good luck, OG.
Yeah. Yeah.
Behold an XRP had dinner with Mr. Nelson Nash several times years ago. That's awesome.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get him on the show. Just tell some stories.
Book it down.
Yes, distribution is non-taxable, dependent on the policy, and it depends on the trust in which you have. All of those are legal terms that I am not about to tell you yes or no answer.
I'm okay. I'm familiar with Mark Kohler and some of his strategies that he utilizes. Not intimately, okay. But the topic, okay, let's talk about this just for a moment. The general topic of structures, okay? Trusts, S corps, LLCs, foundations, they're all a structure, legal, lawful structure, okay? And there's governance of those structures. Now, what really is the structure? It's a contract, okay? And how well written that contract is what you are saying. We are going to do this. We are going to go this route. We agree to be held to this regulatory body, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It goes real deep. Okay. So it's almost like a horrible analogy, but this is just how I think. Anybody remember Sizzler?
Sure.
Where you go through the little ice cream buffet. You can get vanilla. You can get chocolate. Choice. You can get both. Another choice. Big bowl, little bowl. Another choice. You can. Are you gonna do chocolate fudge on there? Sprinkles, gummy bears, Oreo cookies. What are you gonna do? How are you gonna do it? Like all those tiny little things that you have to make up your mind in that little time frame, because there's a line backing up at the ice cream buffet at Sizzler back in the day. Miss Sizzler, by the way. That's what you're doing in a lawful legal sense. Or rather, that's what's going on. Some of that you will do, some of that you won't do. It really just depends. This is where the serious homework on structures really, really begins. You have to find the weaknesses. And as Alan was speaking just moments ago, where he's talked to many people about trusts, and it doesn't hold water from what Alan learned. And he expressed his frustration here just moments ago. Alan, you said you were frustrated. It's like, dude, I can't find the right people to do the right thing to give me the hot fudge sundae that I want to be satisfied. And I'm good to go.
Right.
And
and I'm not even positive that the guy I have now is the guy that I want.
Is it?
I'm not positive about that yet.
Exactly. Exactly. You know,
because
it's got to go through the ringer.
yeah. So, and I I'm just that's the way I play ball, guys. I'm not willing to put anybody out there, and I don't want anybody to have a bad experience, especially when I say, "Oh yeah, that guy was great for me, so you guys should go to that guy or whoever." Right? I feel bad because I threw a particular individual into the bus Sunday that I know a lot of people in the XRP community think very highly of, and I kind of threw him under the bus a little bit on Sunday, and I feel bad about that because it's really not my style.
It's
And
okay.
I kind
I
of
forgive you.
it was a live show, otherwise I would have edited it out because it's really uncalled for. We all do business. We all have different scruples. We all have different uh, ways we fall asleep at night, and some of us sleep better than others when we take advantage of people or not. This person does not typically take advantage of people. I just know a lot of people that had a lot of bad experiences with them. Maybe it was them, not him. I don't know. That's the other thing. The other thing I love about a big group like this is that if we, okay, this person got a policy, this person got a policy, that one got a policy. 8 or 10 of us now, 15, 20 of us have these policies, and we're all having a good experience with a person that, say, sold it to you. Okay, I'm not going to sell it to you because I don't sell insurance and I don't sell trusts. I'm not going to, but we're all going to be in it together. When we have 10 or 15 people all in it and we all have a great experience, and then somebody comes along and goes, "That's the worst experience of my life," I have to go, okay, well, I need to find out what their problem was and iron it out, because I don't need anybody going out there going, "Yeah, I was part of that group and that group, they're all a bunch of ripoffs and all that." Don't go over there, because that's what the internet is today. Is what people try and do is they have a bad experience because they didn't listen, or they didn't follow the rules, or they did something wrong, and then they want to blame somebody because they lost a couple of grand, and then like, "Well, it's Alan's group and those guys are thieves," and I don't need any of that. So if somebody has a bad experience or a misunderstanding with either Simon, myself, or anybody that we would put you forward to, okay, whether it be Scott or JV, I would have those people's phone number, and I would say, "Okay, whoever, Northern Living, let's get Scott on the phone. Let's figure out what's going on here. What happened? I want a 3-way conversation with the 3 of us, and I want us to iron this thing out. Was it operator error? Were you trying to land a plane and you didn't know what you're doing? What was it?" So that's how I operate. And I want to help people. I want to help people. I don't want to ruin people's lives. Yeah. Let's not do that.
I'd actually like to attest to this, to your to you checking in to make sure everybody's all good. When I came on the show talking about the auto crypto investor, the trading bot, right? Alan, in his way, he was on me for about a week to ensure that things were going well, smoothly, wanted good feedback, and in my own personal experience, I was like, I welcome that. You want to breathe down my neck? Breathe down my neck. You might buy me dinner later. But I bring that on because I want to know too if there is something that's not working out, and I want to iron that out the best I can. I can't, I know in this great universe that I don't have a big enough iron to iron out all the wrinkles, but I at least at minimum want satisfaction of effort was definitely made. It just ain't working. I mean, at the end of it, you're on a different path. I'm on a different path, whatever. It's just not jiving. Cool. Great. I'm not the guy, or I'm not, or whatever, but Alan was definitely, Simon, how are things going? I'm like, I have a meeting.
I'm
to bring some more people on. Can I get back to you later? 2 hours later. How's it going? Alan.
Yeah.
I promise I'll call you 8:00 tonight. I'm booking you right now. 8:00 tonight. I'll reach out.
Poor Simon got inundated.
I did, but it was welcome, man. Bring on the flood, man. Bring on the flood.
Yeah.
I'm not the best surfer, but I'm gonna make it to the beach, and I'm bringing everybody I can with me. Sorry, Northern Living, about the flashback about your restaurant there, brother. And it looks like Miss Becky, she used to work at Sizzler in college. I love Sizzler, man.
Yeah, and I mentioned the Texas toast and
Texas toast, yeah.
East Coast. Yes,
Yeah,
it was.
Texas toast, man.
That stuff was
Man, back in the day when I used to eat carbs, I'm all carnivore right now. Well, for the most part.
Yeah, you
Not a
look
bad
like
thing,
a
though.
carnivore.
I am. I'm a meat
Yeah.
eater.
Meat eater.
I'm a meat eater. Question to the crowd.
Okay.
Put a 1 in the chat if you have purchased this book. Put a 1 in the chat right now if you've purchased this book. Purchase/own it. Let's see what happens. Probably a little bit of a delay. What's going on there? All right, there they are. Here they come. Bam, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, look at them go. Look at them go. Look at them go. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. That's great. Love to see that.
What's the book?
OG Mac. What's the book? OG Mac.
Come on, OG.
Becoming Your Own Banker, 5th edition by R. Nelson Nash. You can get it on Amazon for like $18.
Okay, who has this girl beat? Who's read it 4 times?
Yeah. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. Next question. Who's put a number in the chat of how many times you've read the book, and you can put 0.5 if you're not finished yet. Put 0.5 if you're still on your first round. Let's do that. In fact, I'm putting that thing in there. Now that's read. I'm going to count audibles too, and I listen to it all the time. I'm definitely above 10. Definitely above 10.
Really?
Wow. Yeah. Because like it's for me, how I learn audibles, I'll catch little things, little one-liners will just penetrate my thought process. Like in the book, if you just go through the contents, right? Part 2, the human problems, and it goes through Parkinson's law, Willie Sutton's law, the golden rule, the arrival syndrome, use it or lose it. Yeah. Those pillars right there are all from human behavior. And so I've listened to them time and time again. And now, when I go back and read it, just that one little section, I just want to take this one little section now. I want to focus on just the Willie Sutton law. What is he talking about there? Let me think critically for a little bit on it. Yeah, that's where I'm at in this reading. I haven't quite got the highlighter out yet because I'm just trying to do it a little bit different. Not so much school homework study to pass the test, because this test is for life. This is just, hey, you need to learn how to let things come to you and let them marinate a little bit, like before I do a crypto trade. Hey, let's something's off. I'm not getting something, so I need to step back, breathe a little bit, go build some yard art or something. Go to Sizzler, get a steak, all you can eat shrimp, and come back to it. And man, I've had the Audible since this time last year when JV and I were talking about it. So driving a lot, pause, come back and restart. Yes. Yeah. OG Mac, loving that. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah. And we have another newbie in the house. Todd, you're going to get that book immediately. Good. This is conceptually, this is exactly what Joanna's talking about in here. It's a whole new way of thinking about money and how money moves around the world. And once you get that concept, I love that. I love that one story. I don't want to go into it in too much depth, but when you You remember the story about the guy when he pulls into town and he rents a room and he puts
Yeah. The $100 bill.
okay, he has $100 bill, let's say, right? And it says, "Oh, Dad, here for your birthday or whatever." It's got ink written on it. So he hands it to a guy. He goes in. He has car trouble, so he pulls in this tiny little town. Goes up, thinks, "Well, I might need a room because I'm not sure if they're going to be able to fix my car in time, so I better go get a room." Puts the $100 on a deposit for a room for the night. But he says, "Hey, look, they might fix my car. Can I get my deposit back?" "Yeah, no problem." So the person who runs the motel takes the $100, goes to the grocery store. They got a local little store. The guy said he spends $100 at the store, and the guy who owns the store, "Hey, I got some repairs to do around the house. I need to stop by. I got to go hardware store." He spends $100. He gets change back, whatever, the $100 at the store, at the hardware store. Then the next door and the next door and the next door. Well, the last store that comes as the guy goes, "Hey, I've got relatives coming into town this coming weekend. I better go secure some rooms." Well, he's the last store that got the $100 bill. He goes back to the motel. He puts that $100 and many others as deposits on the room. The guy, turns out his car didn't need to be fixed or was fixed, and he could leave town. So he goes back to the hotel clerk and he says, "Listen, good news, my car got fixed. Can I get my deposit back?" He gets his $100 bill. When you follow all of those transactions, how many dollars were spent? Thousands of dollars, possibly, right? If it was spent 10 times, that's $1,000 people spent in business in this tiny little town. When you understand that concept, that is liquidity. That is real, true movement of money. And money can be spent over and over and over and over and over, and the same money, time and time again.
Same physical money.
The same money. And that's proof of it right there. And there's so much money in the world. The only thing you need to do is do what? You have to make yourself the little town. My money went to the car dealership, then it got deposited, and I put it back in my money. And you become where that $100 bill always ends up. Always ends up at me. It always ends up at me. No matter what I bought a company, all that money came out of my IBC account. It always went back into my IBC account because I got my $100 back.
It's funny. I'm so glad we're talking about this because I over the course of the week I've been trying to do a little extra work to bring in some cash for the trip, and but then I'm also trying to get some projects done around the house before the rain comes, and I had multiple days where the day before I spent $100. Okay.
Yeah.
Next day I go out, I get my $100 back. Okay. That's circle of life, like you talked about. Spent money at Home Depot. Next day I did deliveries for Home Depot, and boom, got the $100 back. Right. And it was just like, it was like, I keep getting back to this, I'm back at my $100. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can save some this time. And the next time we get $100, we'll have 120, but it makes me laugh because my perspective has shifted completely. Yeah. I can't go back. I really can't, but it's crucial. It's crucial to see that the money went out from your hands, went through your community, however big or small that is. Okay. And then you did other services in your community, and that money came right back around to you, and it went right back out again, to some other things. Okay. That's the how money flows. Right.
Yeah.
So how valuable is your money, by the way? But if you can lock it up.
Yeah.
Now you're doing something that the banks are really, really good at. Removing money from a community and bringing it to their community. In a sense, that's kind of what we're doing. We are doing that. What's the benefit of that? What's one benefit from that? I literally am the not untalked about bank in my community. I'm now the liquidity in my community, right? Some money goes out, I re-interject stuff because I want stuff done. It's so awesome. I sit up at night and think about these things of how cool this really is. I mean, this is one thing. It really is infinite. But if you guys can get that plus the 2 penny thing, oof, you guys will be on fire. Congratulations to everybody that bought the book just moments ago.
That was brilliant. And like this is
facts.
this is what the corporate institutions, if we will, understood about the year 2020. They said, well, look, if we really, okay, we're going to lock the whole world down, right? So what's going to happen to the liquidity of the money? It's going to lock down.
Stop. It's going to get stopped.
So how do we keep it moving? How do we keep it coming to us, but not in the little towns?
Loans.
Well, let's see. Home Depot and Costco got to stay open, but the little mom and pa's had to close down, which funneled all of that money into the big corporations.
Yes.
And it left little towns. It bled them of their $100 bills.
So let's talk about that just for a moment, okay? What you're talking about is a function within the whole IBC process, okay? And that function is redirecting the flow of money, okay? In the infinite banking concept, laid down in the becoming your own banker, that's what we're doing. We're redirecting those funds to our pool that we control, or rather have more control than we've ever had. Okay.
That's right.
Banks and businesses, they find out ways to do this all the time. How can I get not only my money back, but how can I redirect the money that keeps going that way over to here? How can I redirect that money? How can I redirect the flow? It's like a stream. Any creek, picture a river. Everybody's got shared property lines along that creek. Well, eventually some of y'all will be starting to dig your own trenches, right? And maybe the neighbor across the street from you that's not on the riverbank, they're looking going, hey, how can I get some of that water that Alan just dug through his stuff? How can I get that? That's kind of what it is. You're building your own canals. Or what are they called? Something else. Farming. You're a farmer. What are they called?
What? An army?
No, the canals. They're not called canals though. That you pull from the aqueducts. Thank you. That's it. Yeah. Thank you.
So okay. But what you've done is instead of being the little town, you're the little town.
You are the town.
You are the town. And you went to the hardware store. But the hardware store, in other words, think about it like this. If you pay your credit card, okay, but maybe you spend $5,000 a month in credit card, or all your expenses are $5,000 a month, right? Okay, outside your mortgage or whatever. So you pull the $5,000 from your account, your IBC account, and you pay the card, right? So you have that $5,000. Well, then you spend in the store, in the liquor store, and wherever you're shopping all month long. You've borrowed it, okay? You borrowed it. Now you've paid it back because you have to pay your credit card back at the end of the month, right? Well, all of those stores, all that money goes back to you because you borrowed the money up front for the credit card itself. Mm-hmm. So that's how one of the strategies that you can use to keep all that money that you spend at wherever, Dunkin' Donuts or whatever you're doing, right? Dunkin' Donuts sounds good, doesn't it? Anyway, I don't know where that came from. I'm not even a Dunkin' Donuts guy, but
Crumble sounds good.
Yeah, something. Yeah, chocolate eclair or something. Yeah, I don't know. Something was. Anyway, when you do that, when you retain all the money Now you're all those different stores and you're paying yourself back the money you spend each month. It's once you get that concept and once you start living it, it's like, wow, it's revolutionary. And it doesn't take that much discipline. It really doesn't. OG Max is always happening around you, myself, and bringing value to the people. Yep. Yeah. OG, good luck on your job, man. And I hope you get it. Let's see. Maybe we should get going here, Simon. What do you have anything in closing for these people here tonight? What do you got?
Actually, yeah, I do. I do have just reiteration of things. Congratulations to everybody that bought the book. Congratulations to those that just bought the book. And I tip my hat to each and every one of you that are reading the book or listening to on Audibles. There's one thing. Number two, keep paying yourself first. Okay. I'm talking about the 10% rule. Okay. Or more. Whatever money comes into your hands, you just get in that habit of taking 10% and setting it aside for future endeavors. Just get used to that. That will be applicable to the infinite banking concept. It's baked in the cake. So pay yourself first, pay yourself first, pay yourself first. I don't care what bills are coming up. I don't care how many kids you got. You come first, pay yourself first, then go take care of business. Okay. That's all I got. See y'all in Florida.
Well, that's kind of more than I got, actually. What I have in closing is this is in my life journey of economics, when used properly, the most powerful tool you'll ever use. And I call it a tool because it's simply a contract. That's all it is a contract. And that contract allows you to constantly compound your account and yet use the capital out of it anytime you so choose and to pay it back in the manner in which you need. That is a contract. That's a three-way contract that I did not know existed. And thank God for geniuses like R. Nelson Nash,
who wrote a book, visionary,
who didn't make the book 500 pages because it didn't need to be, right? Too many authors just, what are you doing to me, man? Like, I can't get anybody to read that book.
Just give me the plan. What's the plan?
90 pages, we can pull that off, right? So you're learning a tool, a skill that every banker in the world understands. Sure enough, the teller doesn't get this, but the people who run banking institutions get this. And they've been doing it for thousands of years. And that's how they keep the little man little. We're not having it anymore. I just won't have it. Not for the crew. We deserve better than that.
That's right.
And we're going to have some people who have done it and gone through the process on the show. And there's going to be so many other great people coming as guests. The other thing I'd like to say is wish us well on our travels, obviously. But Simon and I are going to be Monday, Tuesday, meeting with some of these people firsthand in Alabama, Birmingham, that you guys are going to want to see the videos that we put out. So I know you will, and I know you'll check them out. And Simon, what are you I'm going to ask you this one last question. What are you looking forward most to by going to Alabama and speaking with the creators of this entire great process?
Oh, man. Honestly, I'm looking forward to asking my questions that have been asked before to some of these individuals, but just asking for a different way and a different time. I'm very, very much looking to actually meet Lee if she's able to come, because she's the next generation.
Yeah,
I have yet to see anything, she hasn't done any content. I don't know. I haven't looked, right. But I'm very excited to listen, to hear that, to hear the the personal stories, of Nelson Nash's daughter, granddaughter, son-in-law, David Stern. I'm very excited about that, and there's something else that I'm very excited to really kind of lean into and ask about, but that's a little bit bigger picture, and that's going on behind the scenes. So I'm very, 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 very excited about that, and my appreciation to Scott Champman for really is the one that's bringing all that together. We wouldn't be where we're at right now without you, Scott, in putting this together and giving this super awesome opportunity to come down there and kick the tire, so to speak.
Amen to that. I can't say any better than that, Simon. Well done tonight, brother. And I'll be seeing you Friday night, which is going to be
you
fun.
will. I'll see you Friday night, and I will see everybody tomorrow at the Dip of Toe Let's Talk Crypto Show. Northern Living coming in hot. The Secret Weapon. Check it out. 5
you guys
p.m.
you guys need to all check out Dip of Toe tomorrow. It should be good. I'm even going to listen to Dip of Toe tomorrow because my man is on there. My man.
Yeah, dude.
All right, guys. It's good to have everybody in here, and we will be doing a show next week, Tuesday, from Alabama. Yes. All right, guys. Good night. Have a good night. Love you all.